Good afternoon, everyone. This is Brent with Enlightened Trades. Today is July 11th, 2026. And I believe that the bottom in Bitcoin and Ethereum are in. And I'm going to show you the reasons why I believe that. Okay. And how we will know going forward if that will be invalidated or how it will be verified. Okay. So I'll cover Bitcoin, Ethereum. I'll also touch on XRP at the end. Also cover NQ and ES quickly to show you, what to watch out for there too, because I think we're getting to a point where we could be at a top in both of those assets. Okay, for Bitcoin, here we go. On May 7th, I did a video, and also on May 16th, I've covered this multiple times, but on May 7th, I did a video where Bitcoin had made a new high and it hit the 2-spot fib. And I had told everybody I believe that we're going to go down. And from there we did go down. And I gave some levels. I pulled a fib from this spot here. And I gave you some levels. I wasn't sure exactly where it was going to go because it could hit the golden pocket, or it could go and make new lows, which now we know it made new lows. Okay. All right, so on May 7th, we had this. And the reason I believe that we were going to go down is because there's a thing called SMT, Smart Money Technique, okay? ICT teaches this. And SMT is between two correlated assets, for example, Bitcoin and Ethereum. And so smart money knows when there's going to be a change in direction because there's signs. They leave signs that let their people, the smart money people, know when a change in direction will happen. Okay. Now I'm not in, so I don't know. These are just things you have to learn, and then you have to figure out, and then we try to apply them as best as we can. Right. So on May 7th, there's two things that I noticed. One is we had a higher high in Bitcoin and a lower high in Ethereum. Okay, so if we come here, so we had a lower high in Ethereum. We can go to this chart and I can show you a little better. We also had right here in this candle right here, is what is called a precision swing point. This one's a green candle. This is a red candle. And it happens when, precision swing point happens on certain points. And this is a perfect spot for it, right? We had a precision swing point on the high. Okay. So we had a red candle, green candle. That's not always, we're not always that lucky to get precision swing candles. In this case, we were. And so then that was a pretty good signal that we're going to go down. Also, we had hit the 2-spot fib on the retracement. So this was distribution, reaccumulation, and then a further leg down. Distribution, reaccumulation, and then further distribution. Okay. Now, why do I think now that we've hit a bottom in Bitcoin and Ethereum? Okay. Let's go back to this chart here. All right. So go back to Bitcoin. We'll start with Bitcoin. Bitcoin, if you go to the all-time high on Bitcoin, you pull a fib, standard deviation fib from the high to the swing low, you go down to the 4-spot fib. Okay? Sorry. 4-spot fib's right there. I don't know how I messed that up. Then the next quarter, I went to the high of the next quarter, right? We pulled the fib from there. 4-spot is right here, 4 to 5 spot. And then we went to this most recent quarter and we pulled a fib. Now, typically what I teach is from the high, you go down 4, and then the most recent high in the most recent, either the previous quarter or this quarter, you go to the 2-spot and you pull a fib. And if they correlate, if all of those correlate, that's a good sign that those levels are pretty accurate, right? So we have the 4-spot, and the 2-spot, and all of them are relatively pretty close and they correlate really well with each other. So I was pretty confident that if price comes down to these areas, that we should be seeing some kind of turnaround. The other thing that you gotta understand is it came down and it took out quarter one low, right? And it had already taken out the other quarter's lows. So I was pretty confident that if we came down and took out quarter one low, and then it also took out quarter two low, actually was right, which was right here. Quarter two low is right here. So Bitcoin, and this is how the algorithm works, right? It seeks liquidity. It made liquidity and it took it out. Now, the correlating asset to Bitcoin is Ethereum. So let's go to Ethereum. Same thing. All-time high. Pull the fib. Come down to the 4 spot. Last quarter's high. Come down. Pulled another fib. 4 spot. The most recent quarter. Took pulled a fib from the thing. Pulled a fib from the high. And came down to now this one comes down to the 4 spot. The 2 spot was here. But it correlates with the other 4 spots here. 4, 4, and 4. Now look at how price just snuck into this 4 spot. Just snuck into it. Now, Ethereum on this quarter, it has not made a new low. So this is the SMT divergence that we're looking for. Bitcoin made a new low. Ethereum did not make a new low. That's SMT divergence. And that is a sign that we're going up. Okay? So here, I already drew it on the other one, but I'll just draw it on this one just so you know, right? We had a low for quarter two, and we have not had another low for quarter one, right? For Bitcoin, we had these lows, and then we made a new low. Okay? The other thing that I can show you, so now I believe that the bottom is in for Bitcoin and Ethereum. So let's go back to this chart. Also, let's go to Bitcoin. There's a divergence right here on the RSI, right? So we have a low and a lower low, and then but on the RSI we have a low and a higher low. So that is a divergence between the RSI and price, which is another sign that we're going up. So we have two full signs that we're going up. How do we know if that is going to be the case? How do we know? What would invalidate that? What will invalidate it is if price, of course, if price comes down and makes a new low, that's going to be invalidation, right? On Ethereum. If we make a new low on Ethereum, that means we're going to go lower. Okay? But how do we know if we keep going up? How do we know if it's verified? Well, on Bitcoin, this is the perfect spot. We would have to go, the market structure shift candle is right here at 67 for 245.59. On the yearly open, so this is something else that you should learn, that you can learn, is on the yearly open, the true yearly open is in the stock market. It's on the first Monday of the second quarter. In crypto, it's just the first day of the quarter because crypto is open 24/7, right? So the yearly true open in crypto is on Bitcoin is 68,052. So this is what I would expect to see. When we get to this point here, close to the market structure shift, right, line, and close to the yearly open, we should see a green candle that decisively goes through these both of these points and closes above both of these points. Okay? So we could fool around here for a while, but when we get to the 2 spot fib, to the 2.5 spot fib, in this area, we should see a decisive candle. And if we see a decisive candle, then we can come back and retest this area. But we want to see something, and I just kind of draw something that might make a little sense here. But we should see something like that. right? And then what I would actually like to see is we get to the 4 spot fib and then come down and retest these levels here before going back up, okay? That's kind of what I'm looking for, is this right here. A decisive move above those areas. That will tell us, that'll be a very good sign that the bottom is in, okay? But if we just kind of fool around, we retest this area and then we come back down, well, we might make new lows, especially in Ethereum, right? Same thing, right? I'm looking for a break of market structure here. And then really, so first would be that. And then second, we could mess around here a little bit. But second, when we get to the yearly true open, should see another decisive candle on both of these. That would reclaim those levels, okay? That is on Ethereum and Bitcoin. Hopefully that answers a lot of your questions. Invalidation would be if we don't decisively go over that, we come back down to verify it, to validate it, divisive candle above those two. Okay, let's jump over to NQ and ES and see where we're at. Well, this would really be looking like a topping formation. How would we know? How would we know what a topping formation is? Well, we would get an SMT, divergence between NQ and ES. Okay, and how would we know that? Well, currently right now, ES is very close enough where this next week or two, most likely we're going to get a new high in the ES. Okay, the correlating asset to that would be the NQ. So if we get a new high in the NQ, this is the kind of the distinction. If we get a new high here on the NQ in the next 2 weeks, then we're going higher. That's the bottom line. We're going higher. So if we go new highs on both NQ and ES, where we're going, NQ we're most likely going to the 33,000 level. ES we're going to the 8,100 level, right? If we do not make a new high in NQ, but we do on the ES, that is a good sign that now we have an SMT and we can start expecting lower prices. Now, you cannot short. I'm going to show you the ES. You cannot short anything until we see the MACD. We would need to see the MACD cross over. Need to see the MACD here cross over here and us to break this channel here on the weekly. Oops. Us to break this channel on the weekly, okay? That's what we need to see. You cannot short in between that, because look at how much money is has been flowing into right here. Into sorry. This is on the weekly. It's crazy. Sorry about that. On the week, we still see, oh man, what the heck. Sorry, let's go to this one. Still see tons of money coming into the ES, you guys. So do not short yet. Okay? Do not short yet. We gotta see. This is gonna take a little time. Probably a few weeks, if indeed we're getting close to the top. This is gonna take a few weeks to turn over. We need to start seeing money go out of this, and we need to start seeing the MACD. We are flat, but we need to see a turnover, and then we need to see the slope. We need to see the slope here really come down here on the slope on this. If you want to start shorting, okay. So ES, NQ, you guys have you have what you can look at here, and until then, so the next 2 weeks we don't know, but until we put a high in ES, and if we get a rejection lower, on NQ, then I can tell you the levels, because then we can pull we could pull some fibs, right? We can pull some fibs and see, okay, where we're at. Right now, if this is indeed the high on NQ, the swing low would be here. Oops. Oh, sorry. I think I already have it pulled. Sorry. I already have it pulled here. And the 2 spot is way down here, which is crazy. So we would see much lower prices. We'll have to see where we end up, because if on the NQ, let's say we get up here, but we don't make a new high, then we can repull a new fib and see where we're at, right? See where it pulls us. But we won't know until this next couple of weeks, okay? All right, let's jump over to XRP. Now, XRP, again, how would we know if we have a bottom in? I'm not sure yet. I would feel better if we did make a new low this quarter. I would feel better. I actually would feel better if we came down and we took out the 90, we hit the 4 spot. That would make me feel better. That would verify to me, okay, now the bottom is in and we're going. Now, does it matter to me? No, I have tons of XRP. Unfortunately, I never de-risked when it got up here, right? Because I expected a lot higher prices. And so I have my bags full. I'm still dollar cost averaging here. My cost basis currently right now is 70 cents in XRP, but I still keep buying XRP. Anywhere underneath the 133 is good prices for XRP, right? So my de-risking area for XRP, I will keep 33% of all my XRP holdings. Okay. And the reason is because I expect far greater prices. But most of my de-risking now, if in this next bull run, will be between this 14 level up to the $27 level. I'll de-risk, 2/3 of my XRP. A third of it I'll keep forever, most likely, until it gets to, if the people that on X, some of the prices they give is 100, 1,000, 10,000. Well, yeah. Hey, I'll be more than happy. I'll be multi-millionaire if that happens. But I'm not, I wish I would have de-risked this last time when it got to $3. I could have reinvested now and I would have, quadrupled my holdings in XRP. So, but I do expect higher prices this next bull run. And I've already given it to you. 15 is my low, 27 is my high. Again, I won't sell it all, but I will sell a majority of it. Okay. I hope that helps you guys. It's been great. If you have any questions, shoot me an email, Brent at enlightentrades.com. Brent at enlightentrades.com. And or leave a comment here on YouTube, and I'll comment. And thank you guys. Love you guys. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
This has been a production of Enlightened Trades.